So welcome to our brand new home of Rapid FC in Romania. Obviously, we're sticking with Romania. If you didn't watch the last episode, we definitely decided to leave Arges on mutual terms and we weren't sacked. If you did watch the last episode, don't tell them. So with this being a brand new home, we need to kind of work out what is expected of us. Rapid finished 11th place last season. The season before that, they finished 11th as well. The season before that, they finished 3rd. They had a massive drop-off. In fact, the season before that, they were in the league below. So they flew up the tables. They got relegated, got promoted, finished 3rd, finished 11th, sacked their manager. We then took over. And right now, we are on the 8th of July. We're expected to finish 8th place, which isn't awful. We've done no transfer business just yet. We will obviously do some transfer business as we go in towards the end of the transfer window. We've got £1.3 million to spend. It's not a lot of money. And when you look at the size of the squad, it's not a big squad either. We are going to have to do a lot of investing. And by investing, I mean finding players on free transfers. Let's jump forward to the end of the summer transfer window. Let's see what we've done with this Rapid side, and let's see if we can finish in the top 8. That's what we need to do. So the first thing we did is we sold some players. We might have made a big mistake here. We have sold Albion Rahmani. He has left, signing for Portland Timbers over in the United States. 2.4, potentially rising to £2.7 million. He's been a good player, but also we've basically just decided to cash in. He is also 31. You know, he's too old in Football Manager terms. We have also sold a hot prospect striker, Marco Iemma, who is an Italian striker. We've sold him to Juve and loaned him back for the rest of the season. He's gone for 2.7 million, potentially rising to 3.3. This, I think, was a sensible bit of business. We have also brought in some other players, but not as many as you perhaps might think. We have signed Zidane Bordas, who is an 18-year-old Algerian winger and/or striker on a free transfer from USM Setif in his native Algeria. He's coming on a free transfer. He's one for the future, but I might play him a lot now. For £34,000, we have signed Abubakar Diawara from FC Arges. This one might have been a silly thing to do because he's 24. He's arguably, my brain's telling me he's still young. I mean, he's 24, he is still young, but my brain's telling me he's 21 and he's got loads of potential. We might have missed the boat with Diawara, and I'm too stupid to realise what I've done. But our best signing, in my opinion, is Saidu Udraogo, which might be his name, an 18-year-old Burkinabe striker signed for £100,000 from AS Douanes in his native Burkina Faso. 18-year-old striker, 15 finishing. He's got some decent mental numbers, very good physical numbers as well. 6'5", he's an absolute giant. 1 cap as well for Burkina Faso. He's definitely going to be a very good player. Already 5 games into the season, he's scored twice. And that's all of our transfer business. But when you look at the squad, you'll see this a lot bigger. And that is because we had a load of players out on loan, a load of players in our under-21s or B team or whatever we want to call them, that we've just decided to promote. So actually, our squad isn't anywhere near as small as I initially thought it would be. So this is what we have. When it comes to formation, it is going to be the 4-2-4 gegenpress that I love oh so very much. And we're just looking into players. Udraogo is one of them, and Lucas Kashar is another player. Obviously, we did not sign him, but he did come from our FC Arges side. And I'm there going, there's got to be potential in him. Surely, there's got to be something. From a fixtures perspective, we have actually played a lot of football already. We are currently 6th in the table, which is good. I will take 6th. We've done all right. We have drawn with FC Arges 2-2, which is a good result. We've beaten Petrolo Pliozzi 4-1. We've also got a 2-0 win there, a 4-2 win there, a 6-0 win there as well. So all things are looking bright and good for our Rapid side. And hopefully we can make this kind of stick. Let's say, if we can finish in the top 6, that would be very good. If we can finish in the championship kind of the championship kind of playoff range, I would be happy with that. If we go into a relegation scrap, I don't think we're going to be getting relegated. So jumping back to our squad very quickly, I just want to point out a few players who obviously we did not have anything to do with signing or anything like that, but a few players who I think are going to be very, very useful for us. We have Fekir El Beji, who is a Tunisian defensive midfielder, 9 caps to his name, came from ES Tunis. He looks really, really good. I kind of want to build a team around him. We've also got Bogdan Govlai, maybe could be his name, who is 20 years of age. He was one of those players that was just in the reserves. And I went, he's far too good to be in the reserves. Actually, let's promote him to the first team. He's probably going to be playing up front a lot of this season. And it does mean Ayema might be a left winger, which is fine. He can do that. Mohamed Sonogo is another player who I think is very, very useful. I'm not quite sure if he's a right back, right winger. Not quite sure. I'd say more either right winger, and I don't know why. I'm putting literally no faith in that. 11 crossing is better than 7 tackling. That's why I'm saying right winger. And I think as well, we do have ourselves a pretty good goalkeeper for this level of football. We've got Moldovan, 33 years of age now, 3 caps for Romania. Nearly 400 appearances for Rapid since 2020. So he has been here for 12 seasons or 11 seasons in game. Moldovan might be on his last season with us. He's already conceded 13 in 9 starts. They've also got this guy who is a Honduran central midfielder called George Castro. I love it. I just love the fact that they've signed a Honduran. That's amazing. Right, let's jump forward to just before Christmas where we have our winter break in Romania and see how we are getting on. It's not gone particularly well. It's not awful. Certainly not the end of the world, but we have slipped down the table into 10th place, which is close to where they finished the last couple of seasons. And I imagine we've just had some really poor times. Yes, we have. So basically, we've won 1 league game. We've won, oh my word, we've won 1 league game in 3 months. We've only beaten Dynamo Bucharest, which, by the way, I assume is a derby match, which fair enough, we won that one, that's all well and good. But drawing with Sepsi, losing to FC SB, losing to Pietro Pliozzi, losing to Faro Costanza, a 4-4 draw with Arges, fair enough, a 2-2 draw with Cluj, losing to Polytechnica, losing to Cluj as well. Something's not working, and I'm not quite sure what it is. I think I know as well. I think you're the problem. You're playing as a defensive midfielder, which is arguably a position you can play. You're just not very good. Your numbers are flying up, though. So maybe it's not Kashar's fault. Sorting by average rating, we've got Alexandru Pantea, who's actually our lowest average rating for someone who's playing regularly, a 6.61. I think you're the problem, mate. For some reason, you must be the problem. We've also got Maru Dieng, who is one of our central defenders. He is on a 6.74 in the league, which is not very good, and he's obviously played 21 times. We might need to look at doing some investment in January if we want to maybe kind of get into the top, let's say top 8. I feel like top 6 might be pushing it. We do obviously have a bit more money to spend as well, so when January rolls around, we might look to dip our toe slightly deeper into the financial transfer market, but we'll see how things go. Right, it's the 14th of February, and we are no longer the manager of Rapid. We've been replaced. What's happened? What happened? When have we just been sacked? We've just been sacked. 220 days in charge. I assume we just got absolutely battered. We've dropped down to 12th. We've just not won anything. We've literally done just awful. Just done really bad. We did do January, which we will take a very brief look at in a second. But the fact that we have been sacked is... it's not good. I was genuinely hoping that Rapid will be our home for the next maybe 10 seasons. We can fly up the table with Rapid, fly up the coefficients with Romania as well. But no, it's not going to happen apparently. We've been sacked. But before we got sacked, we did do some transfer business. We sold Moldovan. 410 appearances he ended up making in total. At 34 years of age, sold to LA Galaxy for potentially £2.4 million. I don't think that's a bad bit of business for a 34-year-old goalkeeper. We also sold Jost Pisek to Olympia in Slovenia. I believe Slovenia. The actual Slovenian international's gone there for about £200,000. And when it comes to players coming into the club, we have signed Nicholas Mashaba, who is a South African goalkeeper from Cape Town City for £4,100. Not a lot of money at all spent on Mashaba. Obviously, he's not our number 1 goalkeeper, but he is one for the future. And the other player we've signed is we've gone back to Rapid to sign Ferenc Feher to try and get some more goals, basically. We did stop scoring. That was kind of one of the main things that I noticed. We stopped scoring goals, so in January, I went, you know what, let's get a striker who should be good enough to score some goals. So we went back to Arges. Looking at the players then, when we sold Moldovan, this is the man who came in to be the number 1 goalkeeper, which is Ungaranyu, might have been his name, 24 years of age. Doesn't look awful, however, in 5 games he did concede 11, which is a lot, an average rating of a 6.56. Not very good start for our goalkeeper. The new manager, by the way, has not played any matches, so all of these stats that are here are all mine. I can see, so top goal scorer is Udrago with 14, but only 7 in the league. So he's fine in the cup, 7 goals and 6 in the cup, but only 7 goals in the league, which is not good. Govlai has 11 in the league, so he's our top goal scorer when it comes to league football, but also 3 in the cup and 1 in non-competitive, which isn't a thing, apparently. Ayema gets 7, but he has a concussion. Okay, so Iam has got 8 goals in the league, so he's second top goal scorer. Lucas Kashar has got 3 in the league, 2 in the cup. He's not very good. He's not getting better. This is a concern. When it comes to assist, we've got Bangura, who has 15 assists in the league. He's the only person getting us assists. He's the only one, really. I mean, there's players with sort of 4s, 5s and things like that, but he's the main real culprit when it comes to actually getting assists. Did we deserve to get sacked? I mean, the answer's yes, isn't it? The answer's definitely yes. When you think we won one match since September. So no wins in September. Ignoring the cup, no wins in September, November, 1 in December, none in January, and none in February at the moment. It means we have been sacked. We have been sacked again for the second season in a row. We now need to find ourselves a new job. Obviously, there's nothing available at the moment. Can we see job security? There's a lot of international jobs, which are kind of... We're definitely not going to be like the Tajikistan under-20s manager, right? Insecure jobs in... Let's... Hold on. No, I just want club. Don't want that. Don't want that. Right, this is what we're after. We just want club teams. So, Dynamo Bucharest in the first league. Voluntari in the second league. Voluntari are good, aren't they? Arges are stable. Okay, so it's literally just Dynamo Bucharest and Voluntari. And I feel like if I went there, that might ruffle a few feathers and people might not enjoy that too much. Right, we are now going to jump forward to the point where we have ourselves a brand new job. I'm probably not going to take this job until the new season begins. So season 9 is a nice quick one. I say nice. Nice is not the word. It's a quick one where we've been sacked for a second season in a row. Well, here we are then. FC Voluntari in the second division. We have dropped down a league to take over a club. But this is a club who I genuinely think should not be in the second division. They're actually in the relegation group as well. There is a risk that they could drop down to the third tier, and that is why I have taken over from them right now in order to try and turn things around. I've yet to play a single match. If you look on the schedule, we've got 3 games left to play. We should be good enough to stay up. I don't think we're going to be getting ourselves relegated, but they have done pretty badly. They have done pretty badly when it comes to performing in this league. And they're looking likely, they're looking likely to basically struggle maybe next season unless we can turn things around. The big difference, however, with Voluntari, this is our first team, and there are a lot of players here, and there are some players who look very, very good. Christian Tamas, 18 years of age, 4-star current ability central defender, obviously Romanian as well. He looks really, really good. We've also got Vlad Alexandru Edita Saikan, who's also a central defender, 23 years of age, also looks really, really good. Their number 1 goalkeeper weirdly has 3.5-star current ability, but I'm not convinced on Kotai Kudus, but he's a Ghanaian, which does tick a box for me. I do love a Ghanaian. And leading their lines is Attila Grecu, who has only scored 4 goals this season. However, he needs to be in the right system. Greku's going to get 20 goals a season. So, my hope is we take over. We get Grecu maybe 2 or 3 goals between now and the end of the season. Next year, he's the top scorer in the league. Next season as well with Voluntari, we kind of need to get promoted. I don't want to spend 2-3 seasons in the second division when we are trying to build a nation. It's kind of counterproductive. And speaking of building a nation, we will take a look at the end of the season to see how well Romania have done when it comes to coefficients. Because in a way, clutching at straws here, us getting sacked from Arges might have been a good thing because it now means that Arges are hopefully an established European side and we can now make Voluntari an established European side, which is basically elevating the entire nation. That's my hopes. It might not actually be true, but that's my hopes. So 3 games later and we have topped relegation group B in the second tier with FC Voluntari. What happened? I think we basically won everything. In fact, we battered everybody, didn't we? We won 4-1 against Kids Tampa Brasov. I nearly said Tampa Bay. They're not in Florida. Sepsi 2, we beat them 4-3, and we beat Gloria Bistrita, might be their name, 4-1 as well. So we have obviously turned things around quite nicely. This man has scored 11 goals, most of them in the last 3 matches. In fact, 6 of them in the last 3 matches, 8 of them in the last 5. And just in case you're wondering, this is the formation that we did play, the 4-2-4 Gegenpress. Ignore the players that are in the positions. This is basically me saying sort by the best players in all positions so I can kind of work out what we need to try and do when it comes to replacing players. Going into Season 10 and we'll call it Season 1 with Voluntari. In order to do that as well, we've got £850,000 to spend. Not a huge amount of money, but we've got a big squad. We've got a good squad as well, so I'm not too concerned about that. So then, Romania, when it comes to coefficients, down in 18th place at the moment. However, a whopping 12.375 from this season. So I assume that was the season where we won the Europa Conference League? Maybe? I'm not quite sure. But then the 12.375, what happened? Who did good stuff? So a very quick look, Champions League, there is no Romanian side that made it to the group stage, which is kind of understandable. When it comes to the Europa League, first of all, Watford in the final, fair enough. League phase, did we get any Romanian sides in here? We have. FCSB has managed to finish in 15th place, which is pretty good. And that looks like it, okay? And the Europa Conference League seems to be propped up quite nicely. We have Craiova finishing 5th. We have Dynamo Bucharest finishing 10th as well. So, doesn't look like Arges made it to any form of competitions kind of going into Europe. What happened here? So, Dynamo Bucharest got knocked out by Ferencváros, which is not ideal, but they did draw, which counts as coefficient points. In the round of 16, what happened? Craiova get knocked out by Angers. Where did we pick up all these points then? The Europa League, we obviously had FCSB managed to get through, but they lost against Mallorca in the playoffs, so they literally didn't get any further than that. We've just picked up loads of points. I guess because we had lots of teams in Europe, and they were winning games, and they were drawing games, so they were getting coefficient points that way. Maybe that's all that's happened. I was just expecting us to have won something, apparently. Even though we've got nothing to do with them anymore, and we haven't had anything to do with them for a season, FC Arges have managed to finish 5th. I just want to see kind of anything interesting that's kind of happened. Goals, top goal scorer is Daniel Tapia. Not surprised, he's very good at football. Ellis Sims is still there, still banging goals as well. 26 in 60 league games for Ellis Sims. I'm happy with that signing, okay? That was a good signing. Also, I'm very happy with how much improved Avria Appiah has got. At 26 years of age, he was not good enough to play, but I force-played him enough to the point of where he actually developed into a pretty decent player. I'm happy with that. Anyway, that's going to do it for this season. Next season, our journey with Voluntari begins properly, and I hope we don't get sacked again. We need to really get promoted next season. Season 10 is a promotion season for us. Thanks for watching. I will catch you in the next one.